Hi guys, got another Tuesday workout video for you again today. Similar format to what we've done over the last few weeks on these Tuesday sessions, have been fairly consistent. It's split into 3 sections again this week, but only the first part of it is every minute on the minute now. So you've got every minute on the minute for 10 minutes for this first section here. The second section is an 8-minute AMRAP, and then the last section you're doing 3 rounds for time, so that's not time oriented. You've got a 2-minute rest in between each of the sections, so you've got a bit of time to recover and potentially get things set up if you need to in that time. But the exercises that you're doing through the workout are fairly consistent. It's mainly the time format that's going to change. So in this first part here, the every minute on the minute for 10 minutes, there's 2 different exercises. You've got 12 to 20 goblet or overhead squats. So you've got the option there for different exercises. The overhead squats are probably going to feel much more challenging than the goblet squats in terms of the position and the flexibility and the body component, whereas the goblet squats are going to be a bit harder on your legs, I imagine, and if you've got the choice of weight, you'll probably be able to do them much heavier as well. The press-ups or handstand press-ups in the second part for 30 seconds, so it's not a number of reps, we're just looking for you to work for 30 seconds there. So you want to choose a scaling option, whether it be press-ups, handstand press-ups, pike press-ups, something that you can do for most of that 30 seconds. Doesn't necessarily have to be unbroken, but we want you to work for most of that time. You'll then have a 2-minute rest after that, and you'll go into this middle AMRAP. Remember that with that AMRAP, you'll do your 20 step-ups and your 20 tuck-ups, straight back to step-ups, straight back to tuck-ups, and you'll alternate between them as many times as you can within that 8-minute window. The step-ups are looking for to be weighted, but no specification in terms of how you weight them. So you can have the weight wherever you want for those reps in there. So I'll give you a few examples there. The tuck-ups, you could potentially scale to sit-ups if you need to, or remember with those, you can always do a mix if you want. You can do some sit-ups and some tuck-ups. It doesn't have to be all of one exercise or all of the other. Again, once you've finished that, you'll have that 2-minute rest, and then so the last part is just 3 rounds for time, so you're just going to try and blast through it as fast as you can. You've got 20 squats, same idea as at the start. You've got the option of goblet or overhead. You've then got 20 dips, 20 step-ups, and 20 sit-ups. So you're going to go through 3 rounds of that as quick as you can. With the step-ups, I've got to say before as well, your 20 reps there is going to be 10 on each leg, so it's 20 reps total that we're looking for each time. So that's your overall format for the workout, and like I say, there's a few different formats in there, so it's worth making sure you've got everything sort of set up and ready to go before you start. In terms of the squats that you've got to do at the start, I mentioned a couple of different variations. So you've got the goblet squat where the weight's just going to be set up in front of you like that, and we're just looking for you to squat up and down. As you're going to see from my demo, the overhead squats are much more challenging, and we're looking to try and keep the weight above your head as you go down into the squat position. The two will feel different in terms of how they're challenging, and I would tailor the number of reps you do to what exercise you do. I.e., if you do overhead squats, I'll probably do slightly less reps. You could try and do them with 2 arms, which I'm not going to try and demo for you, but that depends on what your mobility and flexibility is like. In terms of scaling option for your press-ups, we mentioned before that you can obviously just do press-ups from your knees. You can do full press-ups like that. You could also go for something like a pike handstand press-up. So you can set up in your pike position like this and do your reps like that. They're a really nice sort of halfway house between a conventional press-up and going for a full handstand press-up. If you've got some wall space somewhere, then you could also go for handstand press-up variations. You could do them stripped, you could do them kipping. Again, there's also sort of variations you can play with, like we'd normally use in the class, but just make sure if you are going to do that you do have space to bail if you need to. You've got space to sort of drop out of it without hurting yourself. With these step-ups, mentioned that we've got a few different positions that we can set up in, so you could have the weight down by your side, like this. You could go for the weight in your goblet position, like that. You do it front rack as well, or you could even go overhead. It's your choice what you go for, and you can leave your front leg on the box the whole time. So you step up, come back down, and leave the front leg on the box. Remember, technique-wise, when you're doing those reps, we're looking for you to use the foot on the box to drive you up into the top position. We don't want to push off too much using the leg that's on the floor. With the tuck-ups, mentioned before, they can be done as sit-ups if you want. So if you are going to do sit-ups, we're just looking for you to stay fixed. You can either use your arms or you can keep your arms by your side. But remember, for both exercises, sit-ups and tuck-ups, we're looking to try and start and use your core and get you into that tuck position when you come up. So here I'm starting in my arch position, and I'm pulling myself into here as I come up. If I'm doing doing a tuck up again, I'm trying to finish in that tuck position at the top, so I'm really trying to squeeze up into that top position and use my abs to bring everything together. Then going into the last part, the only new exercise that's in there are the dips. So again, I'm set up with a box of some description to do these, and your variations for them would be to either do your reps with your legs straight, which would be a bit harder, or if you need to, you can bring your legs in. Then we're just looking to get you down and up with your hands like that. So again, just have a think before you start what sort of scaling options you'd like to use to go through there. The warm-up that we're going to go through now, see there if you want to take a screenshot of that, that will give you a chance to go through the actual exercises that are in there so you can see sort of how hard or easy the different exercises are likely to be. Just sort of heads up in terms of the way that's structured. The first part, you've got your 2 rounds, then you've got your walkouts and your Cossack squats. So your first set of walkouts, you're just going to be going out into the bottom of your press-up position and then back to standing. And your Cossack squats, you're going to be set up like this and just squat down to one side and then down to the other. So we're just looking to try and sort of loosen your groin off a bit there. After that, we'll kind of combine the two a little bit. So you'll start off by doing an air squat, then you'll go down into the bottom of that press-up position, and then back up with your legs straight. And then the third variation, the one I've written with scap, you're going to do the same thing. So you do a squat to start with, you walk yourself into the bottom position, you can do a touch to one side, a touch to the other, and then back up to standing on straight legs. So you've got a few progressions of the walkout there, because we've got a combination of squatting and press-ups to do in the first part. The second part is just going through sort of the rest of the exercises that are in there basically. By the time you actually get to doing a lot of this, you'll be pretty warm from having done the first part, but it's worth going through those exercises just to make sure that you know what variation you're going to do. So for example, where it says in the last part 5 squats, if you're going to do overhead squats, try some overhead squats. If you're going to do goblet squats, try some goblet squats. It's your chance to have a go at what you think your scaling option is going to be. As always, if you've got questions that are more specific than anything we've gone over today, then please just drop me or one of the other coaches a message and we can try and give you some sort of specific feedback or guidance. But otherwise, hopefully I'll see a few of you Tuesday night on the Zoom as well. Have a good week and stay massive.